Good evening and welcome to Face to Face for the Newsfirst team. I'm Niresh Eliathambi. It's my pleasure this evening to introduce Gitanjali Chakravarthy, who is the president of the Sri Lanka Hospitality Graduates Association, to our program. Good evening, Gitanjali, and thank you for being with us this evening.
Good evening, Niresh. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Right. So, Gitanjali, you are the president of this very prestigious association, which is an association I have known for perhaps 30 years under your predecessors. But for the benefit of our viewers, could you tell us a little bit about the Sri Lanka Hospitality Graduates Association, which earlier was called the Ceylon Hotel School Graduates Association? Would you like to expand
Yes,
on that?
Niresh. So, just as you rightly said, we were known as Ceylon Hotel School Graduates Association. It is the alumni of the Ceylon Hotel School, and later the school was renamed as Sri Lanka Institute of Tourism and Hotel Management. And in 2022, the SLHGA rebranded as SLHGA.
Okay.
So, this was mainly done to attract more hospitality professionals to come into our association with the intention of having more experienced, more diverse.
You've been, the association has actually expanded quite a bit, isn't it? It's about 1,500 members now.
Right now, we have about 1,500 members based locally as well as internationally.
Right. I gather most of your members are overseas.
Majority of them are.
Right.
But we have approximately about 600 members still based in Sri Lanka.
Well, that's quite good. I mean, that's perhaps 40%. And it's, of course, a source of pride for our country that our people are good enough to go and hold key posts in the international industry. But a source of sadness as well that most of them had to go rather than having good opportunities here due to various circumstances, don't you think?
Yes, but just like me, I have been away for about 14 years, but I still came back because Sri Lanka has so much to offer. Unlike the countries that I have worked for, not that I don't appreciate what I have learned, the exposure that I've had, but it's nothing like coming back home. So I'm sure everybody who has gone, when they are young, they would want to explore hospitality in different parts of the world, but eventually I hope that they would all return.
There's no place like home.
Definitely not.
Right, wonderful sentiments. And to give our viewers a little bit more detail about Gitanjali, she has worked in many countries apart from Sri Lanka. She's been in the Maldives, Bhutan, in the United States, in Miami. She opened a property for a major hotel chain. She's worked in the UK. And currently she is the general manager of the Hilton Yala, where she has been since the project began in 2019. So that's a very impressive resume, I must say. But as you said, you have come back home and you are contributing to the industry and, of course, to the association. Let's talk about, now the association is all about human resources, and I might say it's the cornerstone of the industry because it has produced so many graduates and trained so many youngsters who have gone on to greatness. But where is our human resource placed right now with the demands of the industry and indeed the country, because the country is expecting great things from the hospitality industry? Do we have enough people? Of course there's a constant stream of people going overseas, but do we have enough hotel schools? What is the situation now?
Yes, we do have enough hotel schools, and as you know, Sri Lanka Institute of Tourism and Hotel Management produce more than 700 to 1,000 students yearly. And our association, which is Sri Lanka Hospitality Graduates Association, plays a pivotal role in supporting the industry. We do conduct training programs, we have knowledge sharing sessions, and we do organize events throughout the year, which develops the standards of the industry and which helps to elevate service levels of all hotels. So we do have enough people, but then again, there are institutes, but the youngsters still prefer to leave the country at certain stages.
But they do come back after a while.
Yes, after a
many
while they
of them.
come back. Because like me, even when I was young, I wanted to explore something different and I left the country. But then once you have gained experience, you will always want to come back to Sri Lanka, because no other country, as far in my opinion, has all what we have to offer. In terms of, we have a very rich culture, we have a great, a proud heritage that we all can be very, very proud of. And even the biodiversity, the things that I have seen in Sri Lanka, I have not seen in any other part of the world.
Right. We certainly have a lot to offer in terms of tourism or attractions for tourists. But we are now trying to reposition Sri Lanka to attract more high-end tourists. And the question I have for you is, well, high-end tourists require a better service rather than, the backpackers and so on. So do we have that caliber of hotel staff? And it's not just hotel staff, but all around, whether it's tourist drivers or whoever, guides and so on. Do we have that level of people?
We do have, but we can definitely do better. When you talk about high-end tourists, they spend approximately, the average spend per day will be about $800 to $1,000. So obviously they look they want value for
money. Yes.
So we do have hotels, we do have team members in our hotels that can offer the kind of service that they look for. But with training and development, we have to try our level best to make sure that we deliver what the tourists expect. Sri Lanka has some beautiful hotels, and we are one country that can cater to guests looking for different experiences, whether it's a backpacker or a guest who is looking for a 2-star or a 3-star property, or for a 5-star facility. So we have a range of products that we can offer to any type of tourist who want to have an experience in Sri Lanka.
Right. Now, this is a country, this is an industry which is poised to break out. The numbers are increasing, although perhaps not as rapidly as expected. And the country has returned to normalcy. We don't have power cuts and petrol shortages and things like that. So for a tourist, it's a fairly seamless, painless experience and a pleasurable one, which they wouldn't have had in 2022 or before that. But what are we missing now to break out and turn this into a fabulous destination? What needs to be developed?
I would say infrastructure development. Although hotels people don't only come and stay in hotels,
Right.
They do want to experience other attractions. So in certain areas, I think the facilities for the tourists have to develop. Simply put, I may say maybe the public washrooms. It's a basic facility that a traveler would need. So while the hotels are geared to offer that service, since Sri Lanka is a destination where tourists don't come to one particular hotel, they do travel, they go on a round trip. So during their travels, there has to be facilities that can cater to the demands of these tourists. So in terms of infrastructure, definitely there has to be a development. In terms of talent, we do have trained team members who can offer services that a customer would expect. But we definitely can do better with more training.
Right. So infrastructure development, of course, means that it's not just the industry; it's beyond the industry. It's not only hoteliers, but it is, Pradeshya Sabhas, provincial councils, the tourist board, Sri Lanka Tourism, the tourist police. They all need to get involved. Is that something that we need to sort of, put our foot on the gas a bit and get that sorted out?
Yes, I strongly feel so, because when you say tourism, it's not confined to hotels. It starts from air travel to ground handling, the places of interest that people would visit, plus the hotels. So all tourism stakeholders have to work together to ensure that the customer gets value for money and that they have a great experience in Sri Lanka.
Right. Now, staying with infrastructure, you mentioned air travel, but there's also ground travel. What's your take on, now we have highways which go down south, which is an advantage to hotels such as yours, but many of the other parts of the country don't have highways. So if you're headed for Dambulla or Trincomalee, yes, you do get some good roads, but still, for all, you're going to get stuck in traffic, maybe closer to Colombo. Is this a hugely limiting factor, do you think?
As of now, I don't think having highways is an advantage. But Sri Lanka, even by the side of the road, there's so much people can experience, and we have so much to offer. So it takes about, if you take from Colombo to Dambulla, it may take about 4.5 hours, which is not a long distance. So having highways is definitely another advantage. But since, as you rightly said, the roads are in a good condition, so doesn't limit people from traveling from one place to another. But having highways is definitely an advantage. And some people also opt to take helicopters, provided they can afford the transfer from one destination to another. There are people who come for short holidays who will travel by air.
Right, and I think we do have several domestic airlines, and I think one major domestic airline announced that they are going to have an added service. And also, I think last week we had some trials of seaplanes or float planes on the Beira Lake. So there's some development in that, but perhaps we need a bit more in terms of air travel.
Yes, certainly it will help. Affordable air travel, I would say, because the customer is also very, very price sensitive.
Yes.
While they pay a substantial amount to the hotel, they will also expect air travel to be affordable.
Right. Now, if there's one thing that the industry needs from the country, from the government, to spark its growth, what would that be, in your opinion?
A global campaign, I would say, because we have a beautiful country. We have so much to offer, but Sri Lanka is still a hidden gem.
Hidden for too long, perhaps.
Hidden for too long, definitely. So it's nice to have a beautiful product, but we also have to take it out to the world and put Sri Lanka on the global map. And once that's done, I think I strongly believe that the government is expecting 10 million tourists, 5 million tourists with 10 billion revenue, and I don't think it would be a difficult task to achieve those if the right promotions come at the right time.
So you're talking about a global campaign, such as the ones we are used to seeing, Incredible India, The Sunny Side of life in the Maldives, Malaysia, truly Asia, and so on. Many countries have national campaigns, but we still haven't had one in many years. I mean, we had them early on, I think in the 80s and 90s, and but I think for more than a decade we haven't had one. And has that really, you know, been a drag on the industry? Because when you go out and try to bring in the tourists, many people simply haven't heard of Sri Lanka.
Yeah, I believe so. I wouldn't say we have not had campaigns. We have had, but over the years, whatever the campaigns that have been done, I would say that it had not been consistent. Because when you say Incredible India, we've heard this for years and years and years. But when you talk about Sri Lanka, we've had so many taglines, so many campaigns over a very short period of time. I think consistency is something that will drive better awareness and keep us on top of mind of the potential customer.
Right. And when you talk about such campaigns, it's also internal, isn't it, to instill that sense of pride and create more awareness among Sri Lankans of the possibilities for them in the industry, which is something that, again, for many years there was a certain stigma attached to working in hotels, but perhaps no longer. But the industry can do with a bit of a boost internally, couldn't it? Within the country.
Within the country, we do have campaigns done, but we need to take it out of Sri Lanka. There are a lot of hospitality companies, the private companies, they're doing their own marketing, they're doing their own promotional campaigns. I'm not in a position to mention names, but then again, I know the private companies are doing their best, but we need to have much support from the government to take it forward. And right now, the government has launched a few campaigns, but I strongly feel it should be consistent and it should be done faster, sooner than later.
Now, you've worked all over the world, as we mentioned earlier. In your opinion, what are the key target markets? Because the markets have changed as well. 30, 40 years ago, it was Europe. And we looked to Europeans to come here on their winter vacations. But now you've got so many Chinese and Indians and other nationalities. What markets should we be targeting?
Okay, we have something for every customer. So right now, if you look at the tourist arrivals to Sri Lanka, the highest GOB is India, then followed by UK, China and Germany and USA. So those are the GOBs that are patronizing Sri Lanka at the moment. Our focus should be, Indians would anyway come because we are much closer to them.
Right.
And Chinese have been traveling to Sri Lanka lately, and most of the hotels were fully packed with Chinese due to the Golden Week holidays. But we should put more effort towards, in my own opinion, to Europe, UK and Australia.
Interesting indeed. So, do you think that the Chinese market is aware of Sri Lanka?
They are, because travel agents, very recently, a travel agent in Sri Lanka took part in one of the campaigns that was done in China, and thereafter we have seen Chinese arrivals increasing to Sri Lanka.
Now, what about the training aspect, which is of course one of those aspects that your association would have a lot of expertise in. Now, we have so many hotel schools now. 20, 30 years ago, you had perhaps 2 or 3 hotel schools. But what about the quality today? You've got degrees, You've got the universities and private institutions. Is the quality sufficient?
Unfortunately, the times that I went to hotel school, after 2 years when I got out into the industry, I knew what was expected of me from the hotel. But nowadays we meet graduates from certain institutions. Although they have done degrees for a period of 2 to 3 years, unfortunately they don't have a practical knowledge of what is expected or what they need to do in hotels. So that's a downfall as I see. There are many institutes unlike before, because when I was a student it was only the Ceylon Hotel School and a few other hotel schools like Claremont Hotel School and just a handful. But today there are many institutes. While teaching them theory, I personally feel that there has to be a certain element of practical that has to be added to their curriculum, so that when these students graduate from those schools, they are ready to step into hotels and start work. Unfortunately, right now, the graduates that we get from hotel schools are not able to deliver.
Well, that's unfortunate because hospitality is a very hands-on profession, isn't it? And is there insufficient on-the-job training or internships while these students are actually learning?
Now, if you take an institute like Sri Lanka Institute of Tourism and Hotel Management, although they do theory, their study is more focused on the practical aspect of the deliverables. But what is needed in hospitality, as much as we learn theory, we also have to learn practicals. So that's very important, because sometimes when a student comes to the hotels, we do offer them training, but we expect them to know certain amount of on the job, the hands-on experience is a must. So that's what's lacking from some of the institutes.
Right. So perhaps the institutes need to get into more partnerships with the industry.
That would be a great idea. In fact, we have in the region that I am currently employed, we have started a training program, and we encourage our team members to go and learn from another hotel, and we also offer training sessions in our hotel, whereas team members of the rest of the hotels also can come to our hotel and then work and see how things are being done and experience the product, so that by learning, by seeing they learn things, and by experiencing they learn things. So that's something that either the hotels associations can do together in different regions. Now at SLHGA, although we are a professional alumni association, we do offer training programs. It may not be directly on the job training, but during the hotel show that we organize once a year, we do have competitions for bartenders. We do have competitions with like room stylist competitions, where we give an opportunity for housekeeping personnel, tea masters competition, and barista competition. By having people involved in these competitions, we as an association help to develop talent in all regions. And we also act as a bridge between the SLITHM and the industry. So when students pass out, the members of our association who are holding senior positions in the industry help these students to secure employment, and where they go through extensive on-the-job training before they actually start working in the industry.
Interesting. And you mentioned your area association, which is of course the Yala Hoteliers Association. However, there are many such regional associations, whether it's Nigambo or Kandy or wherever. how important is their role in developing those particular destinations? Because we talk about marketing Sri Lanka, but it's not just within, it's not just one destination within this country. And many countries actually market multiple destinations. If you take Thailand, for example, you get so many different resort areas which are marketed quite independently while being part of the big picture of the national campaign. But we in Sri Lanka, we haven't really focused on that. But is it time that the associations sort of upped their game and marketed their regions a bit more?
Yes, when it comes to training, of course, associations get together, the regional associations, and help develop the other hotels in the region, just as we do in Yala Hoteliers Association. And even marketing. Recently, I'm not too sure that you heard of the Ruhunu Ring that was spoken about.
Right.
Where one of the hotels have taken the leadership in promoting the Ruhunu region, starting from the south right up to the deep down south, to help promote that region as a tourist destination. So likewise, Cultural Triangle is being marketed as a destination. So those hotels also take leadership, and then they do help like the government to promote their own regions.
Interesting. Now, what's your advice to youngsters who are thinking of perhaps a career in the hospitality industry? Is it something that you would greatly encourage right now, as opposed to, let's say, joining another industry?
Hospitality is the most beautiful industry that anyone can work in, and I've been in this industry for over 30 years now. And if you ask me whether I would continue to work in this industry, yes, I would, as long as I can. This is one industry where when a youngster comes in a hotel will provide everything what you want, from your basic salary to the accommodation to the food to the uniform, which no other industry would offer. So for youngsters, yes, it is a nice industry to get in and start working. But as you grow up the ladder, this industry gives you opportunities. It's literally like a passport. I've traveled to many countries. I don't think I would have had those opportunities if I was not in hospitality. So I would always encourage anyone who wants to get into this industry to come, explore, because it's not a job. I don't see my job as a job. It's a passion. And every day is a new day. Every day you meet new people, new customers, and come with so much of excitements and challenges at the same time. So it's a very, it's not a monotonous job. It's challenging yet very exciting. So anyone who wants to be in this industry, they should not hesitate. They should just get in and see, explore and experience what we have to offer in this industry.
Now, on the gender side of it, in decades past, sometimes parents were a little reluctant to send their daughters to work in hotels. But has that situation changed now? Has the image of the industry changed? Is it an industry that women can step into with no fear whatsoever and good prospects?
There had been times where tourism was, or hospitality was not seen as a suitable industry for women. But I totally disagree with that sentiment, because hospitality is like any other industry, be it banking or being a school teacher or a doctor, or for that matter any other industry. So as long as we look after ourselves, it's not a difficult industry to survive. I know, especially in the rural areas, because the hotels are being patronized by foreigners, parents may think that the industry is not suitable for a young girl. But I don't see it. Having been in this industry for over 30 years, I felt very comfortable. And I would encourage any girl to come in and join. And we do have few girls. I have 24% of my team members who are females.
Really? That's quite an impressive number. Now, what about the role of senior people such as yourself in this industry, and especially with regard to the handling, the management of not just the hotel but the guests as well?
Handling guests has always been easy. I think when a guest is encountered with a problem, when they see a male figure, they become more aggressive. But the moment they see a female, like they tend to at least give you a hearing. And even handling team members has never been a challenge. So as long as you lead by example, and I myself, I'm a very hands-on person, so I work together with my team. To date, I learn from every team member of mine, I learn from every guest of mine, and it has never been a challenging, I don't see my job as challenging. I see it as an experience.
Right. Now, you were away out of Sri Lanka for 14 years, I believe. When you came back, did you see that a lot has changed, both in the industry and in the country, or was the pace of change not quite as fast as you would have hoped?
If you take tourism, countries like Bali, Thailand, Maldives are far ahead of us due to various reasons. But the position that a woman has in this industry, I think, has changed over the years. Many years ago, a woman would have had to work twice as hard as a man to get into a leadership position. And it's not the case anymore. As long as, be it a female or a male, as long as the person is passionate about what they do, as long as we achieve results, I think gender doesn't stop anyone from getting into a leadership role in the industry. So things have changed, but a lot can change for the better in the future.
Right. Now, this year a lot was expected after the new government came into office. A lot was expected of change per se, and of course the government was very clear that it expects great things from the hospitality industry. But when you now we're 10 months into the year, has the pace of change been good enough, or do we need to change things faster? The global campaign, of course, is just one side of it, which many were hoping would have come out by now. Still hasn't happened. But what about the rest of the industry? Have the changes been rung in fast enough?
In terms of what the government has done, one good example that I can give you is free visas that were allowed for certain countries. That has definitely shown positive results in tourist arrivals. And then at the same time, the number of tourists that are coming to Sri Lanka has increased over the past few months. As of today, as of end of September, we have crossed 1.7 million tourists. So the target was to achieve 2.3 million by end of this year, but we will definitely cross the mark of 2.2 million at least. And again, in terms of revenue, we are doing much better than last year. So this year, if the current trend continues, we will achieve $3.4 billion by end of the year. So it's a gradual process. Obviously, the country was very badly affected during the pandemic, and then whereas tourism was almost at a standstill, there were no guests or zero guests at all. And then since then, we also have gone through a political crisis. With all that, within a very short time, we have been able to revive. But with more work, with a better global campaign, and putting Sri Lanka on the world stage, I'm sure we can do better. Right now, the Sri Lanka has been recognized as one of the most beautiful destinations to visit. We have also been recognized as the country which is safe for solo travelers, for a family-friendly destination. So the recognitions we have received this year has been immense, I would say. So with all that, with a global campaign, definitely Sri Lanka tourism has a very bright future.
Now, what about um, the um, the big name brand hotels, the hotel chains, such as the one that you work for? Now, many of them have some kind of presence in Sri Lanka. A hotel here, resort there. But do we need to attract a lot more, especially when it comes to investment? Larger hotels or more numbers of hotels from particular chains?
There are many global brands in Sri Lanka, unlike before, and recently few international brands have invested in Sri Lanka. So we are yet to see those hotels coming up, but then the work has started. So in the coming years, we will definitely see more of international brands like the one that I work in, and few others as well.
Right. Are we in a situation where the growth of arrivals, tourist arrivals, would be faster than the number of rooms which are coming online, or has a certain equilibrium been reached?
We do have obviously the room industry has a registered sector and unregistered sector, as all of us know. But we do have sufficient rooms, and then for the demand in the coming years, definitely with these new hotels that are coming up, we definitely will be able to meet those demands. There are many new hotels that are being built at the moment, so with that we should be able to manage the number of tourists that we are expecting.
Right. And now we have our tourist resort areas, which are fairly well known to all of us, but are there any other hidden gems, any other areas of the country which need more development as resort areas, which would also, of course, generate a lot more employment for the people in those particular areas?
Yes, now if you look at regions like Haputale, Alla is of course it's to its full capacity at the moment, and recently I visited Hirkatiya, and those areas are developed and then they're full of tourists. And Haputale is another destination that's up and coming now. So the government and the investors are looking at these hidden areas and developing new hotels.
Right. But apart from those, now let's take the north and the east, for example, and perhaps the northwestern province. Are there areas which need further development?
Certainly, certainly it will take some time, but those areas are better than before. In north also we have a couple of hotels now. Number of tourists that go to the north is still quite limited, but in time to come, definitely with better promotions, with the average length of stay of the guests increasing in Sri Lanka, those are areas that definitely the tourists would explore.
Right, and I'm afraid we're almost out of time, Gitanjali. So my final question to you is, on behalf of your association, what message do you have for the industry and also for youngsters out there who are thinking and dreaming of joining the industry?
The Sri Lanka Hospitality Graduates Association will do our utmost to ensure that we elevate the industry standards by sharing our knowledge, sharing our expertise, and to help the industry raise the hospitality standards. And I would say all the youngsters looking for a lucrative career in hospitality, come join this SLHGA or join any other hospitality institute in Sri Lanka and become a part of our association. And I invite all tourism stakeholders to work together with us, and we are ready to offer our utmost support to the betterment of this industry.
Wonderful sentiments indeed. My thanks to Gitanjali Chakravarthy, who is the president of the Sri Lanka Hospitality Graduates Association. Thank you very much for being with me this evening.
Thank you, Niresh. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you to you at home for watching. Don't go away because the news is coming up next. Have a great evening.